This is CBC Here and Now.
Now we're out here to get attention because
safety management. Come-by-chance workers want their voices heard.
The outgoing mayors of St. John's and Mount Pearl go at it one last time.
Well, we could do a song or a dance, Dennis. What's it going to be?
Both.
We're not going to fight here on the border.
We track on this map, we'll put little pins to show which countries they come from.
Preparing for class, what it takes to get ready behind the scenes.
Of course, the back-to-school forecast, the all-important back-to-school forecast. I'll let you know how tomorrow's shaping up. The big theme over the next couple of days, we're turning the humidity dial way up. The details are coming up.
A union taking to the street. Well, we've seen it before, but the United Steelworkers at the Come-by-Chance refinery has a different take on that.
Yeah, two of their leaders walked and cycled from the refinery to Confederation Building. Their goal, to raise concerns about safety at their Placentia Bay worksite. Here now's Terry Roberts reports.
Everyone agrees that safety is a core value at the oil refinery in Come-by-Chance, but the union representing workers at that refinery say their voices are not being heard when it comes to that very important subject.
So it came to this unusual sight today. A union leader who would normally sit at a desk riding a motorized bicycle along the TCH.
we need someone to listen, and government should listen.
A journey that took nearly 18 hours, 150 kilometers, undertaken by a union leader living with cystic fibrosis. After months of quiet lobbying, Nolan decided to shake things up and bring his message directly to the provincial government.
We shouldn't have to do this walk to bring attention, to be part of the process. But we had no other choice. We used a diplomatic way for the last year or more through email.
At issue, Nolan says the union is being shut out of a special agreement signed 3 years ago, giving them a voice in safety management at the refinery. He says it's symbolic of the tense labor-management relationship at the site, and says the culture is similar to what existed prior to a tragedy 20 years ago that claimed 2 lives.
And we're out here to say we want to be part of this process safety management, and we have not.
Nolan's journey ended this afternoon at Confederation Building and was soon followed by a meeting with the Minister of Service NL. But Sherry Gambin-Walsh says the refinery owner is following the safety agreement and abiding by all directives from government.
I was up last night till 3 a.m. examining all the paperwork myself. I've gone through with a fine-tooth comb, and every single directive that was put in place from June 2016 to June 2017, the company has acted on the directives.
The union doesn't agree, so this dispute is not likely to end anytime soon. As for Narl Refining, they're not talking. Terry Roberts, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, we've got an update on that story. Late this afternoon, after a meeting at Confederation Building, union leader Glenn Nolan contacted us.
He says Service NL Minister Sherry Gambin-Walsh committed to work with the union to get them involved with the process safety management system.
And he adds that the minister has agreed to revive a joint occupational health and safety committee at the refinery.
A fisherman from Grand Bank will not serve jail time for uttering threats at employees of the Fish, Food and Allied Workers Union. Wayne Mead made the comments during a heated meeting with fish harvesters in Fortune in November. He allegedly pounded the table where FFAW employees were sitting, lifted his leg and made a vulgar threat. Mead pleaded guilty to uttering threats. He received a conditional discharge and was placed on probation for a year. At the time, he was a vocal supporter of Fish NL, the Federation of Independent Sea Harvesters, although leader Ryan Cleary said his actions didn't represent the union. The discharge will remain on Mead's record for 3 years after he served his probation.
Well, a missing persons report from the weekend took an unexpected turn overnight. A St. John's man police were looking for appeared in court today, charged with committing a serious crime. Here now's Mark Quinn explains.
A badly injured woman was brought here to the Health Sciences Centre over the weekend by a friend. Police say she was injured in what they described as a domestic incident. Shortly afterwards, 35-year-old Paul Marr was reported missing. He's since been arrested, and police now say he's charged with attempted murder. Marr appeared in court here in St. John's briefly today, where a judge ordered him back into custody at Her Majesty's Penitentiary. He's due to appear in court again later in September. The good news is the woman who was injured has been released from hospital. Mark Quinn, CBC News, St. John's.
An update now on a story CBC Investigates has been following. The College of the North Atlantic has announced a plan for students who were enrolled in a suspended program. Starting this week, the Southern Alberta Institute of Technology will have staff at CNA's Prince Philip Drive campus in St. John's to deliver its curriculum. The college's respiratory therapy program lost its accreditation in June. About 40 students were thrown into limbo by that decision. Documents obtained by CBC had listed concerns about the emotional safety of students and the program's high attrition rates.
Well, to Texas now, and a look at the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey. Officials in the U.S. say the massive storm has claimed at least 60 lives. Officials say many died in fast-rising floodwaters or after losing control of vehicles on waterlogged roads. Harris County, which is home to Houston, was probably the hardest hit. FEMA says more than 500,000 families have registered for its housing assistance program. The governor of Texas says the total cost of the recovery could be as high as $180 billion. And tonight in St. John's, local musicians are trying to help with that huge financial hit the Texans are facing. They're putting on a special show to help those affected by Hurricane Harvey. It's organized by former Canadian Idol judge Zach Werner, and it's taking place at 3 different bars downtown. Here now's Jeremy Eaton is on that story tonight and joins us live from the Ship Pub. Jeremy, when's this all set to begin?
So the shows will start at 7 p.m. at the Black Sheep Pub on Water Street, and then also at 7 p.m. at Aaron's Pub on Water Street as well, just down the street. And here on the stage at the Ship Pub at 9 p.m. with former Great Big Sea bass player Daryl Power kicking all things off. Now this, as you said in the intro, was the idea of Zach Werner, former Canadian Idol judge, because he wanted to help out raise some funds for those affected by Hurricane Harvey in Texas. So after seeing the images of the devastation and what was happening down in Texas, he felt that he wanted to do something, he wanted to help out. So he called upon some bar owners and some people involved in the music industry to try to put this show off. Now it is a unique show because it'll be happening at 3 bars simultaneously from 7 p.m. at some bars, 9 p.m. at this bar, and it'll run until 1 a.m. Now later on in Here and Now, we're going to chat a little bit more with the Canadian Idol judge, who's also a musician, entertainment lawyer, and manager, Zach Werner, and we'll hear more from him about why he wanted to put off this special show. Reporting live for Here and Now, I'm Jeremy Eaton at the Ship Pub in downtown St. John's.
Well, in sort of other entertainment news, a well-known comedian is eyeing a run at federal politics. Pete Soucy says he's gauging his support in Bonavista Buren Trinity. That's the riding where Judy Foote will step down as MP later on this month. Soucy is best known for his character Snook and from his time hosting the radio show Backtalk.
A small ceremony was held in Gander this afternoon to mark the 50th anniversary of a deadly plane crash. 37 passengers on board a Czech Airlines Flight 523 were killed when the plane went down in 1967. 2 survivors were at today's ceremony. Michael Klock was just 9 at the time, and this was his first visit back to Gander since the accident. He said after a lifetime of questioning, he still wonders what went wrong.
It leaves a hole in your life because you don't know what happened, and that's probably the toughest thing, that you don't know exactly how it could happen. And, I mean, taking all the, being kind of intelligent, I hope, taking everything into account on that day, just should have never happened, and it did.
Well, another person who remembers every detail of that crash is fellow survivor Elena Zimova. She was also in Gander for today's ceremony. Czechoslovakian Airlines Flight 523 was bound for Cuba on September 5, 1967. The crew stopped to refuel in Gander, and within seconds of takeoff, the plane burst into flames. 69 people were on board, only 32 survived. For her 80th birthday 3 years ago, Elena's family surprised her with a trip to Gander to visit the crash site and meet those who saved her life. Here's that 2014 report from the CBC's Natalia Goodwin.
Elena Zimova thought she would never return to central Newfoundland. It took an 80th birthday gift from her son-in-law to convince her to come and meet the people that saved her life. Zimova was on Czechoslovakian airline Flight 523 that crashed just off the Gander runway 47 years ago. She remembers every detail, including her skin catching fire.
I just wished that the death would come fast, because I did not expect that anybody could get out of that alive.
Jack Pinsent was working alone in air traffic control that night. When he saw the plane explode, he didn't think anyone would survive either, but 34 people did.
And if you look at the photos of the crash site, you got to say, how did anybody ever walk away from that? And there were people that actually walked away from it, not without any help at all, just walked away. You know, and it's unbelievable because the airplane practically vaporized.
Zimova was plagued with nightmares and still fears flying, but coming back here and meeting her rescue team and doctors again has brought some closure to the event.
Just extremely emotional, and I didn't have enough words to thank them for everything what they did for me. It was just incredible.
No one knows why the plane crashed. At the time, the Czech government withheld the flight data recording from Canadian authorities. Pinsent didn't know the cabin was on fire before the plane went down until talking to Zimova this week. Now that they've reconnected, Zimova will work with their local historical society to try and help solve the mystery. Natalia Goodwin, CBC News, Grand Falls, Windsor.
I can't believe that both he and I, after 20 some odd years, could stand here on the border and
still
debate this stuff with some passion.
Well, up next, changing of the guard. Two longtime mayors who are leaving politics talk about the future they want to see for their cities.
And 14 hours and counting. Around 8 tomorrow morning, a lot of kids will be heading to school. Later, we'll take you inside one of those schools to find out what preps teachers are going through.
Well, Debbie, Ryan had a great line while you were off yesterday talking about the back to school weather. He said it's back to school, but it's also back to summer. And it certainly felt like summer out there today.
Absolutely gorgeous weather. Nobody wants to say goodbye to summer.
No.
It's been generally very, very good here. Not so much for Labrador.
But the island's been pretty good.
Yeah.
Have had a great summer. But it really depends on where you live in Canada, and of course even here in Newfoundland and Labrador, but especially across a big country like Canada. It's been all about location this summer. Too dry in the west, too wet through central Canada, especially Ontario. Have a look at this report by Cameron McIntosh on what some say has been a summer of extremes.
It was a sign of things to come. Canada Day in Ottawa. A rainy affair.
I sold out of ponchos by 7:30 this morning.
Just days later, the Calgary Stampede sweltered under oppressive heat and record dryness.
We walk them, we water them, we walk them, and we keep doing that until they're completely cooled down.
Stark examples of the east-west divide that has climatologists calling this summer the season of extremes.
Well, I think it's the contrast between west and east that I think is most remarkable about the summer.
The explanation is in the jet stream, the waving ribbon of air over Canada that divides warm and cold. This summer, it curved high around the west and low and wet into the east.
That's why the west had so little weather. It was just hot and dry for so long. And here in the east, the jet stream, instead of being north of Hudson Bay, was really over Ottawa and or over southern Ontario.
The result, record moisture in Ottawa and other parts of Ontario and Quebec, causing flooding and crop losses.
You can't stay here.
While record dryness in the west has made for an intense forest fire season. In fact, it's BC's worst ever. Tens of thousands of people have had to flee their homes. Costs are now approaching $500 million.
We never thought we'd ever see anything like this.
If there was a place to be, it was in the middle. Manitoba recorded one of its most pleasant summers in recent memory. And as fall approaches, that could be true for most of the country.
Compared to normal falls, we think that overall across Canada, it'll be pretty nice.
Whether it was too dry or too wet or just right, there's a sure thing about summer in Canada. It goes fast. Cameron McIntosh, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Indeed, it goes fast, especially here. And again, when you look at the extremes, again, Labrador, the wettest August on record in Labrador City. Here on the island, it was a pretty good summer. We did have rain, but not a lot of days with rain. So big country, big province. And as we look at the province today, we've been talking about the clouds that have been thickening in over western parts of the island. There's a beautiful shot from Steady Brook where that's a little earlier. You can see the sun breaking through the clouds a little bit. It is clouded up since then. 24 degrees is the current temperature in the Steady Brook region. Winds in from the southwest. And as we take a look at our highs today, it was a dandy. St. John's to Corner Brook, 21 to 24 degrees generally, 25 in Deer Lake earlier, 15 and 16 across southern parts of Labrador, just 9 in Nain. Clouds have been a little more dominant for you folks. We have been watching the dew point climb somewhat. And of course, the dew point is a great measurement for how it feels. Is it sticky? Is it oppressive? Well, right now, we've been in the nice, comfortable range. Dew points in that 12 to 14 range, getting a little bit sticky along the south coast, but this will generally be the name of the game tomorrow. Dew points in the 14, 16 range. Boy, we got some big changes happening, though, for Thursday into Friday. That dew point is going to be turned way up. It's really going to become sticky and oppressive across central and eastern Newfoundland in particular. Here's why. We've got this frontal boundary that's setting up over the eastern seaboard. It's going to shoot up between Newfoundland and Labrador. That's going to allow this southerly air just to build in over the next couple of days. And building that humidity, that tropical air will be moving in to our neck of the woods. Labrador will be on the other side of that front, staying relatively dry feeling and not nearly what we're talking about in terms of humidity. In fact, temperatures will be a little bit cooler, and it's all because of this east-west divide and this frontal boundary that's going to set up between Newfoundland and Labrador, and it starts to move in through the overnight tonight. And in fact, we're going to be seeing some pretty good shower chances tomorrow for the northern peninsula and southeastern Labrador. But generally the walk to school or the walk to the bus tomorrow is going to be a dry one. Slight chances of a shower over the Corner Brook region, but I think more so for the northern peninsula and into the Straits. Everyone else is pretty much dry. Now the Marystown and South Coast, That's just some drizzle chances with, again, that southerly flow, some fog and drizzle early on. That burns off into the afternoon, and again, it's a pretty solid home time. Looking forecast again, shower chances will increase for the Corner Brook region, but it's far from a washout. Here's what I'm talking about. Watch your timeline Wednesday morning. Those shower chances certainly into Corner Brook, the Humber Valley, up towards the Bayvert Peninsula. Still a possibility of a patchy period of drizzle along the south coast. But overall, it's a dry day for most of the island tomorrow, especially central and eastern parts of Newfoundland. Labrador, again, we are going to be watching some showers build in, but not until the later parts of the day to places like Cartwright. And I think Happy Valley Goose Bay, for the most part, stays dry tomorrow. It's a late afternoon shower arrival. So here's how things will play out in terms of temperatures, ranging from 18 to 22 in the south, in those onshore southwesterly winds. Get inland, and we're talking more sunshine and temperatures that are going to stretch from 23 to 26. Again, we'll be close to 30, flirting with 30 with the Humidex, but that's nothing compared to what is brewing for Thursday into Friday. And again, there are those showers that will be building into Mary's Harbor into the later parts of the day. The Straits unsettled from start to finish. A chance of an afternoon shower in Labrador City as well. The humidity on the doorstep for Wednesday night, and then really starting to build in for Thursday, and it is going to be a sticky Thursday and Friday with shower chances increasing across the island, even some steadier periods of rain in the mix. We'll talk about that with your long range coming up. Debbie?
Thanks, Ryan. Well, another couple of town councils have been named without a single resident heading to the polls. The candidates for Cartwright and Dover Bonavista Bay all ran unopposed, as was the case in Branch and Clarenville. 5 council seats were up for grabs in Cartwright, and unlike other municipalities, those 5 will decide who gets to be mayor. Meanwhile, in Dover, Tony Keats was acclaimed as mayor along with 6 councillors.
Well, there are 2 familiar names who aren't acclaimed, and they aren't going to be on the ballot this fall. Dennis O'Keefe isn't running again in St. John's, and Randy Sims won't be back again as the mayor of Mount Pearl. I met up with the 2 of them on neutral ground, right on the borderline between the 2 cities, and I started by asking them if they regret deciding not to run.
No regrets. I've had 20 years in municipal politics, 30 years teaching. That's 50 years. It was a hard decision, no doubt about that. My polls told me I should run. My heart told me it was time, and time to give myself back to myself and my family, and to new opportunities that'll come my way.
My heart tells me when I watch the nominations tick down and I see the clock go to 8 p.m. and it's over and my name is not there, there's a touch of melancholy for a moment. But no, I think it's the right decision, and you know, I'm looking forward, as Dennis says, to the next chapter. What comes next?
What are you leaving that's unfinished? Is there something that you're like, I really wish that I'd been able to tackle this, finish this off before you sort of hang up the chain and turn out the lights?
No, I really don't think so. I mean, the city has changed immensely in the last 20 years, in the last 10 years under my leadership, and I think aside from the physical things, 2 of the things that I'm proud of having been a part of and having accomplished is, 1, bringing respect and dignity back to City Hall and back to the chair of the mayor, and 2, putting in place at the senior executive level a talented team of young men and young women who are quite able and ready and delighted to take on moving the city ahead for the next generation or 2.
You know, like the song, right? Regrets, I have a few. Then again, too few to mention. That's kind of where I would be with this.
He's going to break out into a song now.
Well, perhaps. We could do a song or a dance, Dennis. What's it going to be?
Or both.
We're not going to fight here on the border.
No.
Politics is always a song and a dance.
It is.
No doubt.
Now, I want you to put yourselves in each other's shoes for a second.
Yep.
You know, if, Dennis, we'll start with you. If someone said, you know what, we want you to be mayor of Mount Pearl, what would you change? What do you think you could fix in that city?
I'd join St. John's in a heartbeat, because we're looking out here and we see the Team Guzhou Highway, and the Team Guzhou Highway is in the city of St. John's, and that ramp leading off the highway is in the city of Mount Pearl.
By the way, did we thank you for that yet?
No, and we're not.
Thank you for the ramp.
And we're not going to, excuse me, and we'll see where that goes, because we've been after the city of Mount Pearl and my buddy here to share the maintenance costs of the highway, and it's going to be difficult here this winter to get onto that ramp and onto Topsail Road if it's not snow cleared.
Now everybody knows the other song I'm going to quote right now, right? It's a gold country classic. What part of no don't you understand? No, if we were to reverse roles, in all seriousness for a moment, we were reverse roles. There's not a whole lot that I would change about the way the city of St. John's does its business, quite frankly.
Not even snow clearing? Because you're always trumpeting how much better snow clearing is in Mount Pearl.
Hold on, now that's a little bit of a misnomer.
Yeah, it is.
We never trump how great our snow clearing is compared to St. John's.
The key word is trump.
The reality of it is that St. John's faces a particular snow clearing challenge that the rest of us do not. This city is 200 years old, St. John's. The downtown core is a particular challenge with our type of weather. Our streets, our urban environment, our suburban development of the last 50 or 60 years is designed to embrace it.
But we could do more together.
What are you talking, the North Korean Army versus the Americans on the border? Is that where you are?
No, I think that it's going to happen. There's a big demographic shift here in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. In the meantime, we could do more together in terms of recreation facilities. I mean, all you have to do is travel to a place like Halifax and look at what they've done in terms of complexes that can operate regionally. Town of Paradise doesn't have a swimming pool. You know, we've been working together to try and put a pool between us in the Kenmount Road area because it's not going to happen there for quite a while. The town of Torbay has approached me to work out some arrangement with the Paul Reynolds Centre whereby it will become a regional facility between town Torbay and the city of St. John's.
You're forgetting something here that relates to about communities. So you're talking about, let's say, the Summit Centre in Mount Pearl.
The Mount Pearl Summit and Glacier is oversubscribed because many of the people using it, in fact, are from St. John's. They come out of Southlands, they come out of South Bend, come out of Kilbride, they come out of the Goulds. I have children in Southlands
but here's the thing,
who go to Mount Pearl for different...
We are going to do this. What's wrong with that?
You know what we should have done? I should have
what's wrong
approached
with that?
the mayor of Mount Pearl and said to them, look, you're putting $30 million into that facility, we're putting 45 into a facility not too far away. Why don't we put our money together? We got $75 million and let's build a complex somewhere in the middle where it'll serve the region.
There you go.
Well, sounds like there's certainly going to be plenty of issues for whoever ends up replacing both of you in the mayor's chair to sort out between the...
Do you know the only thing that I think everybody got to realize as both he and I leave office is that I've always said anybody wanting to be on local government, they need to bring a couple of things with them. And we all talk about CVs and your skills and what you were trained at. And I've always said some experience in life necessary, bring enthusiasm. And I can't believe that both he and I, after 20 some odd years, could stand here on the border and still debate this stuff with some passion.
You got to have the passion for your community, and you got to be willing to convert that passion into action.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting times, and I'm sure it'll be difficult at times for you guys to sit back and just watch as other people make decisions.
Yeah, probably.
I can't see either of you just quietly sitting by for too long, but thanks so much for joining me, and good luck both of you in retirement.
Thanks.
We're going to go have a coffee and talk about our grandkids.
We are, yeah, guaranteed.
That is not the last we've heard from them. I don't think they'll be able to refrain from commenting. Do you think?
It'll be interesting to see. Neither of them said they have any concrete plans for what they're going to do next. So it's, I guess, a little bit of retirement. But yeah, I know certainly neither of them are the type to sit around and do nothing. But and it was difficult to try and rein them in. Both once you get those two talking, my whole interview with them was like 12 minutes long. If you want to watch the whole thing, we've posted it all on our website, cbc.ca/NL.
Well, it's a long time ago that I had my first day of school here at St. Andrews Elementary, but tomorrow a brand new first day of school for a whole new crop of students. Let's go inside and speak with the principal and assistant principal about what they had to do to get ready for the big day. Welcome back. It is back to school tomorrow for most students in the province. But while it is their first day, most teachers have been back ahead of time preparing for the big day. It's no different at St. Andrews Elementary in St. John's, where I met up with Principal Bonnie Oakley and Assistant Principal Joanne Anthony this afternoon. So there's a busy time of year. Let's go and see what one of these classrooms looks like. Where are we going?
Sure, we're going into our kindergarten, one of our kindergarten classrooms that will have 34 students tomorrow.
Now, the two of you have been hard at preparing for the new school year. Joanne, just tell us what goes into getting ready for tomorrow.
There is a lot of work that goes into getting ready for tomorrow. We have to form class lists, upload students into Power School. We have a number of new students coming this year, so we had file transfers and things to take place as well. So it's been quite busy.
So Bonnie, you do have, I understand, 60 new students coming from Larkhall with the school reorganization. What kind of challenges does that present?
Well, I guess knowing the children on paper is one thing, and once they come to us tomorrow, it's going to take us a little bit of time over the next few weeks to get to know them, find out their needs, and gear programming toward the needs of each student.
How many students are going to be here at St. Andrews this year?
This year we're looking at anywhere from 270 to 275. In June when we finish, we had about 200. So we'll be up about 75, 80 students.
So let's move down the hall, and you've got quite a diverse school population here, people from all over the world, aren't there?
Yes, we have students from various countries throughout the world, and I think somewhere between 35 and 40 different countries. So it creates a very diverse atmosphere here at our school.
And Joanne, I understand this map is going to get full with locations eventually.
It is. We find out which country each child originates from, where their family comes from, and we'll track it here on our map with little push pins, and that certainly helps build the culture here at St. Andrews.
What challenges does it present to provide for students who are coming from so far away, and I guess many of them don't even speak English, do they?
Absolutely. We have many children that come into our school with no English at all, but we do have the help of an interpreter, and we also have somebody that comes into our school to help us communicate, worker in the schools that will come in with new families. For example, on Thursday morning, we have a family coming in from Syria, and we'll come in and we'll meet privately. We'll fill out the necessary paperwork. We'll have an interpreter to help explain all about our school, the supplies that the children will need, and oftentimes too we will provide some supplies and a backpack for the children so that they're off to a really, really comfortable, happy start here at St. Andrews.
So Bonnie and Joanne, let's just head into one final classroom. You know, we've been talking a lot about stress over the past year or so when it comes to the education system, and I understand we were talking just a moment ago about children from foreign countries, and there was a little bit of tension today when a family came in. Just tell me about that.
We had a family come in, and the father, I guess, was feeling a little anxiety over the supply list. You know, things like crayons or leads. He doesn't know those English words, so he actually had to photograph those items so he can go and purchase them now.
Yes. When it comes to other stress, how hard is it on families and students, on some of them, not all of them, but at this time of the year, Bonnie?
Well, I guess especially this year at our school, with so many new students coming into us, we did get calls from families to ask if they can bring their children by today and take a walk through, and some families wanted to meet with our guidance counselor and with teachers, just so that their children will be more familiar when tomorrow comes, that they're not too, too nervous or too upset to come in tomorrow, so at least they're a little bit aware of what the school looks like and where their classroom will be.
And you have a full-time guidance counselor here?
Yes, we do. We're very fortunate to have a full-time guidance.
And I guess, Joanne, you just keep your eye on the students, certainly at the beginning of the year, to detect if they are feeling anxious.
We do, and there's a lot of very supportive teachers here. We're fortunate to have excellent staff here, and everyone does what they can to make the students feel comfortable.
Well, there is stress, but there's also a whole lot of excitement, as you said earlier. Tomorrow, what are you expecting?
Well, like we said in our staff meeting today, when the doors open at 8:10, everybody is on deck and everybody's going to be there to help direct families and students to their classrooms. And we look forward to a great day, a busy day, and of course, a wonderful year.
Well, thank you so much, Joanne and Bonnie.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much.
And good luck.
Oh, thank you.
A fundraiser for Hurricane Harvey is about to happen here at the Black Sheep down here and here at Aaron's Pub. We're going to be back here after the break and we're going to tell you more about it.
Welcome back to Here and Now. In just a few minutes, more than 20 performers are going to be at various bars throughout the downtown core in St. John's. They're performing in an event called Shelter. It's a musical fundraiser for flood relief in Texas. The unique event was the idea of a man best known for his work on Canadian Idol. Here Now's Jeremy Eaton is covering the event tonight and joins us live from Aaron's Pub, where it looks like the musicians have already started.
Yeah, a little bit of talent started early for us to get it onto the newscast. But Zach Warner is many things. He's a musician, he's a music manager, he's an entertainment lawyer, but many people remember him as a judge on Canadian Idol. Now, after seeing the devastation caused by Hurricane Harvey in Texas, Warner thought that he and other musicians in St. John's could do something to help. So he put together this little fundraiser. Now, earlier today, I had a chance to talk to Warner, and here's a little bit of our conversation.
Tonight we're holding a benefit at 3 different bars. It's going to be at Aaron's Pub, where we're standing right now, and at the Black Sheep, and at the Ship. And the benefit is in aid of relief for flood victims from what's happened with Hurricane Harvey in Texas and in Louisiana. So that's what we're trying to raise money to support the cause of the people that have been dispossessed and suffered from that disaster.
Why did you want to reach out and help people who live an awfully long way from here in Newfoundland, Labrador?
Well, you know, I don't think it's a matter of how far we live away from one another. I mean, the fact is that disasters happen all over the world all the time. I mean, at the same time as Hurricane Harvey was happening, there was another hurricane disaster happening in Southeast Asia where 1,200 people were suffering. You know, so I don't think that we live in a world where we have to be just about what we do for our neighbors, although God bless we should be. But, you know, I was a bit news obsessed and watching these poor people and realizing that the disaster was not just a matter of immediacy for what they were going through right at that moment, but going back to their homes after suffering through that water damage was going to be an unbelievable disaster. And, you know, since I moved to Newfoundland, you become painfully aware of your proximity to the water and how much weather changes your day. And I really sort of felt that affinity between my experience as part of this landscape and what those people were going through as part of that landscape. After I had the idea to do it on Wednesday, on Thursday morning I woke up and thought I might be completely insane for trying to organize this much. But after a few Facebook messages and spreading the word a little bit, you know, the word spreads fast amongst musicians here. We're a very small community. And to be honest, I've had more offers from musicians than I could actually have space for. So, you know, they're all very generous and very supportive of this. I know it is supporting a cause that's a long way away, but I think in this day and age of Trumpism and other things, you know, realizing that we are more about our similarities and our support for one another than we are about our differences, it's an important thing to do, and I'm proud to be a part of this, and I'm glad that Newfoundlanders decided to join in.
So this is Haley Peddle, and this is some of original music that she has written. This is one of the many young artists who will be performing tonight. Show gets underway here at 7 o'clock at the Ship Inn, 7 o'clock at the Black Sheep, 9 o'clock at the Ship Inn, 7 o'clock at the Black Sheep. There's a lot of bars to remember. Anyways, tickets will be $20. That gives you a bracelet. It gets you access to all of the venues, and all the proceeds raised tonight will go to the Red Cross. Reporting live in St. John's, I'm Jeremy Eaton for Here and Now.
Well, before we get to the weather, if you remember everyone's favorite osprey, well, we thought we'd give you an update tonight.
It looks like they'll soon be heading south for the winter. This is a live shot of their nest near Newfoundland Power's substation in the Virginia Waters area of St. John's. Which bird are we looking at now?
This is one of the babies.
Oh, I haven't looked
Growing
at it in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised
They
how big
grow
it
up
is.
so fast, Debbie. Now, they're still a healthy family of 4, mom, dad, 2 kids. They come and go quite often. As you can see, there's only one there now. Often to head out and go grab a meal, some fish often. Ornithologist Rob Berargis is a researcher at Drexel University in Philadelphia. He's monitoring their movements. He tells us the mom will leave any day now to head down south. Dad and the 2 chicks will leave in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And by the way, they do have names. So mom is Shannon Dithit, dad is Beaumont, and the male chick is Tommy Ricketts, and the other chick is Lucky 2. I think there was a contest to name those.
Nice.
Yeah, it's nice to see that they all survived and have flourished, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, parents are out running errands with the youngsters.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so we just saw Jeremy Eaton downtown. Obviously some relief there for Texas from Harvey. Focus now shifting to the next one, and Irma has quickly been rising the ranks, unfortunately. Now one of the strongest Atlantic hurricanes on record. In fact, if you don't include storms that were in the Gulf or the Caribbean Sea, this is the strongest hurricane on record in the Atlantic Basin.
Wow.
Yeah, Category 5, and this thing is a beast. Sustained winds of 295 kilometers per hour. Wind gusts up to 360 kilometers per hour. And again, just a big storm that is bearing down on the Leeward Islands right now and will continue to track off to the west. Now, we're going to show you that in just a second. Just to give you a little bit of scale here, tropical force, storm force winds with this storm span outward from the eye up to 280 kilometers. Hurricane force wind span 95 kilometers. So we take this storm, we'll put our fake hurricane on top, basically the same size, and we'll paste it down on the island just to give you some perspective here. If that storm was over the island, again, it won't be, But if it was, the tropical storm force winds would stretch from Grand Falls, Windsor to St. Anthony, from Grand Falls, Windsor down towards the Burin Peninsula, back across to the Bay St. George region, and from Grand Falls, Windsor to St. John. So this is a massive storm. And again, it is rolling to the west. So yeah, just that little icon doesn't quite do it justice for the scale of this thing. Now note the cone of uncertainty spreads as you move out in the forecast, day 3, day 4, day 5, and the cone is quite large as it nears Cuba and then southern Florida for day 4 into 5. And there is still much uncertainty whether it swings east of the Florida Peninsula, whether it goes over Florida, or could quite possibly track into the Gulf of Mexico, and hopefully not, of course, with so much damage there already. We will keep you posted on that over the next couple of days. Closer to home, again, forecast for tomorrow, back to school. We're looking at some shower chances for Corner Brook, but mainly up towards the northern peninsula and southeastern parts of Labrador. We're looking at a pretty fine forecast for most of Labrador, but some showers late day in Cartwright. Most of the island will be quite calm, sun and cloud. The dew point starting to creep up a little bit. Again, it's a very good measurement for how it feels, how sticky it feels out there. Big change, though, for Thursday into Friday. Check out those dew points and my scale on the side. So anything in the 18 to 20 range is starting to feel uncomfortable to oppressive, and that's what we're talking about for Thursday into Friday. Those dew points in the 17, 18, 19, 20 range, maybe even more than that. So when we're talking about highs on Thursday, 24, 25, 26 degrees, we're talking about humidex values in the low to mid 30s for central and eastern parts of Newfoundland. So really muggy day setting up for Thursday. We're going to be seeing shower chances best over the west coast into eastern Labrador back towards Happy Valley Goose Bay. Shower chances for Labrador City. And again, there's that humid air mass that will continue to be overhead for Friday and moving in from the south with those southerly winds. Friday, those shower chances will move into central, at times heavy. Bit of relief for the west coast, still some scattered showers across the big land. But again, we are talking feeling into the low to mid 30s with the humidex for central and eastern Newfoundland. Very soupy air mass for sure. Lots of fog along the south coast and drizzle as well. It does appear that we'll stay unsettled for Saturday in the east. Sunday as well, some gradual clearing over central and western Newfoundland. Sunday may just be mainly cloudy here in eastern Newfoundland, fingers crossed, but it does look like a rather unsettled pattern setting up in Newfoundland, and of course the opposite in Labrador.
Let's meet our young athlete of the day right now. Tonight, we introduce you to an athlete from Long Pond, CBS. This is Leah Slaney, who's 7 and played hockey for the first time this year.
Yeah, Leah was a member of the CBS Renegades initiation program, the Tigers.
Awesome job, Leah. You're today's young athlete of the day.
The RCMP received dozens of calls from people in Alberta and BC last night, all of them reporting a fireball in the sky. These are some of the shots put on social media. Many also said they heard a deafening boom. That's pretty bright for sure. So what was it? Right now the best guess is a meteor. There is some speculation that parts of it hit the ground.
Welcome back to Here and Now, and it's back to school for millions of students across Canada. That means facing the problem that often comes in a brown bag, lunch. Health advocates say it's not just what kids eat, but how they eat it. Our health reporter Vicadopia has the story.
What do you want to take for lunch?
The question faced by millions of parents every morning. No matter how delicious and nutritious, some lunches just come back home barely eaten, along with hungry kids. Zoe Treforos found out why.
When I finally spent some time observing lunch hour, I noticed, I thought it was sort of akin to herding cattle. The noise levels are unbelievable, and it's just a really stressful environment.
With schools getting bigger and so few kids going home at noon, Treforos says eating lunch has lost respect.
In that scenario at the school, I think kids are learning to rush through, best case scenario, or just skip it altogether.
Poor eating habits can contribute to poor nutrition and affect performance in school. When UNICEF measured access to healthy food together with rates of obese or overweight children, Canada ranked near the bottom. All top-performing countries had national school food programs. This food security advocate says Canada's patchwork of school meal programs falls short.
What we'd like to see is a national school food program where all kids from across the country know that they can go to school and get access to healthy food and eat it in an environment that teaches them about what healthy food means and about nutrition.
The Canadian government has started to design a national food policy. McNichol and a coalition of health groups, including Heart and Stroke Canada, want school meals to be part of that.
Kids are growing up to be less healthy than their parents were. There's rising rates of chronic diseases, and that's going to put a huge burden on our future healthcare costs.
Zoe Treforos has started a committee at her daughter's school in the hopes of bringing more civility and nutrition to lunch. Vicadopia, CBC News, Toronto.
You're giving me a million reasons to let you go. You're giving me a million reasons to quit the show.
A lot of Lady Gaga fans are disappointed today. She canceled her Montreal show last night because of laryngitis. Lady Gaga posted a note on Twitter hours before she was scheduled to perform, saying she was devastated to disappoint her fans. But she did send free pizza to those who were camped outside of her hotel.
Yeah, lots of Newfoundlanders who went there and flew all the way only to be disappointed.
Yeah, that would be an unpleasant experience. But what can you do? Welcome back, everyone. We want to show you some spectacular shots of the CN Tower being struck by lightning during a storm last night in Toronto.
This was shot by our very own Lee Pitts, who's on assignment at CBC in Toronto. Certainly some eye-catching moments, but it turns out it's not actually all that rare.
Researchers at the University of Toronto say the tower gets struck by lightning about 75 times a year.
There you go. I guess when you're the tallest building for miles around, you got to build it to withstand a bit of lightning.
Shocked to hear that stat. I figured it would be higher than 75 times a year, but anyway, very impressive nonetheless. Thanks to Mr. Pitts for sending that along. There's the next three, and again, the big thing here is the rising humidity, especially Thursday and Friday on the island. Not so bad for tomorrow, but we'll certainly feel it. And a beautiful rainbow to cap things off in beautiful Bishop's Falls. And this is courtesy of Brian Keith Callahan. Great stuff there.
Very much, Brian, for sending it along. We could all share it. And that is just about it. It is it for us.
Thanks so much for watching.
Yeah.
Have a great night.
And good luck to all of you families out there with the little ones going to school tomorrow.
Have fun.
See you tomorrow.